Turn that down some. Welcome, mega love shout out to everybody in the chat. Thank you for coming on in. We appreciate having you here. As you can see, we have a very interesting lineup for you guys tonight. I'm going to give everyone the opportunity to come in and get settled. We're just going to go over a few house rules before we get started. Tonight's guest is Miss Judith and Lacey from Building Ace Legacy, and also Kimberly Arlinda. Hello, Emeka. Welcome, Queen. Thank you for joining us. Mega love shout out to all of Team Happy in the building. Sierra, appreciate you being here, Queen. TSM Rapper, not sure if you're still here, but welcome, King. Appreciate having you. Judith in the chat, too. Hey, Judith. Judith is everywhere, y'all. She's being a moderator and she's being a individual up on the platform tonight. Sierra said, welcome, Queens. Mega love shout out Team Happy. For everyone coming in, I just wanted to ask, are you guys doing VEDA? If you are content creators, are you doing VEDA? Which is vlogging every day in August. They do it twice a year. It's also in April. And then in October, we have Vlogtober coming up, where you vlog every day in October. And it could be themed around harvest and or Halloween. Mega love shout out to the rest of Team Happy coming in. Thank you so much. Appreciate you guys. Please give me a big thumbs up. Hello, Kimberly. Kimberly's also everywhere. Appreciate that. After Vlogtober is Vlogsgiving, where you would vlog every day in the month of November. That's my birthday month. Yay. I think I'll be doing that this year. It will be themed around harvest and or Thanksgiving. They're greeting you, Kimberly. Thank you so much, Jihan. Appreciate you being here from Team Happy. And then finally, guys, is Vlogmas, where everyone vlogs every day in the month of December and is themed around Christmas. Appreciate it. All the thumbs up. Appreciate everybody joining us in the live stream. A few house rules. Number one, you got to go back and watch the replay. Whether you're here or not, I expect this thing to be so great, so interesting, that I want all you guys to go back and give me a second watch on that replay. But in the event you don't, please share us out. You can take a moment to share us out now on your other social media platforms. It would be greatly appreciated. The more, the merrier. Vlogmas, okay. Kim says she'll probably be doing one of them, but she's not really sure yet. Probably just Vlogmas. That's fun. I did that one last year for the first time. I had so much fun. I was doing a lot of Christmas decor, like teaching people how to make wreaths. I did a lot of different things. Swags for my table and walls. I got a whole Vlogmas playlist. Thumbs up done. Thank you so much, Jessa. Appreciate you doing that. Some house rules, guys. Please be mindful of your questions and comments on the panel. And just a reminder, I'm going to put that up there on a banner. Okay. Because I need everyone to be respectful of myself and my guests. Remember, this is our stories, our lives. And Helenista, welcome, sissy. Thank you for joining in. Appreciate having you here. I appreciate you all being here for tonight's topic. If you have any additional questions for myself or any of the guests on the panel tonight, I will give you the opportunity to do so. Hey, Tyjan, I will give you the opportunity to ask any questions on my community tab. So be on the lookout for that. One moment, guys. Tyjan. He want to put the funniest things on when I go on live. I'm sorry, guys. Um, Again, if you have any additional questions for myself or any of the guests on the panel tonight, I will give you the opportunity to ask questions on my community tab. So be on the lookout for that. I will put out a poll to see how you guys were satisfied or entertained or enlightened in tonight's live stream, and then I will also present another post where you guys could put any additional questions, comments, or concerns that you have for myself or any of the guests. I do have a list of questions for my guests tonight. However, we are open to answer any of the questions that may come up in the chat only if they remain respectful. I hope everybody brought a glass of wine and put those kiddos to bed aside of me and Lacey as we have this grown folk conversation. Any of my admins in the chat, you know what to do. If they come in here disrespectful or vulgar or with any type of foolishness, go ahead and handle that. So I do have some questions for my guests. I'm going to let everybody introduce themselves, starting with Lacey.
Hello, I'm Lacey from Building Ace Legacy.
I'm Judith. I support building Ace Legacy and help her a lot.
I'm Kimberly Arlinda with Kimberly Arlinda.
The one thing that we ladies all have in common is that we are either married, dating, engaged, somehow involved with Nigerian men. We have that in common. We are willing to tell you our stories tonight on this platform. Again, I just ask that everybody remain respectful in their questions and comments. I just want to address a few people that I saw come in, vlogging with the Fields. Welcome, Lisette. Thank you for being here. You said you have your tequila in. That's all right, honey. Look, all I have is some water because I know they're going to wear me out. Your Pleasure 721. Thank you, sweetheart, for coming in. We appreciate having you. Kicking it with the Grand Shay's in the building. Welcome, Queen. Thank you for coming in. So we're going to go ahead and get started with these questions, guys. I normally allot for 1 hour for these segments. However, this one may get a little more lengthy, so we do have the time if it's necessary. The first question, and I'm going to ask Judith first. How did you meet your Nigerian partner, spouse, or significant other?
So I'm on guy Nigerian number 3 right now. The first one I met, I started a new job. And the sister that I was the supervisor and my worker decided to ask me would I date outside of my American culture. So I said, getting older, I have been more accepting of dating outside of what I'm used to. So I told her, yeah. So yeah, her and her husband had a friend, and I met the friend, and we were talking for probably almost a year, if I'm not mistaken. It was almost a year. I'm gonna break the glass right now. Mr. and Mrs. Amaechi are the people that introduced me.
Yes. My hubby and I introduced Judith to her Nigerian significant other.
Yes. So he was okay. He was, to me, so he was arrogant, number one. He was very arrogant. They being new and learning, I didn't mind embracing their culture and understanding their things, but he was just out there. I couldn't say hey to him, just different little things. And we didn't work out because he began trying to lie. But you can't lie. You can't lie to everybody. I'm a private investigator. That's my third job. I'm gonna find out what I need to find out. So, he that was number one. You want me to continue, or you want to move to someone else?
If there's more information you would like to divulge, by all means, this is the time.
Arrogance number two. Also a friend of Mr. and Mrs. Amaechi. He approached Mrs. Amaechi wanting to meet me. Friend number two. So, long story short, we were together for a little while. We were planning a trip to Africa, my daughter and I, to go to South Africa to church. We were going to a church in South Africa. Well, this trip got flipped westbound. We landed in Nigeria. And we were there for about 3.5 weeks. We had a good time all in all, but so the second gentleman is who I spent that time with. Unfortunately, we didn't work out either. Just a difference in ways. And, me and my daughter are very close, and he wasn't accepting of that. So I'm not going to choose you over my daughter. So see you when I see you.
Yes, we'll get into that a little later in the dynamics of the relationships when you're dealing with, I don't want to say all men from Nigeria, but majority. They have that same common goal when it comes to the family dynamics. Unfortunately, he couldn't understand the closeness of Judith and her daughter, and he wanted to be put first, even with the fact that they were not married. So, that's where there's a barrier with our culture and theirs. So we'll get into that a little more later. Kimberly?
This is going to be real easy. Blackpeoplemeet.com.
Repeat.
Blackpeoplemeet.com.
Okay, I just want to address some of those things going on in the chat here. I do not consider myself the plug. When I met Judith, she did come to the job as my boss. And the first week that I met her, she was not in a good place. She was going through some things in her personal life. And we developed a friendship really, really quickly. It just happened so naturally. I almost felt like on day 2 that I have known this woman for a very long time. During the first couple weeks, I was sympathetic and empathetic for whatever it is that she was going through. And then I just asked her simply, would you ever consider dating a man from another country? I just so politely eased in there. And I said, because my husband have a gentleman friend that I think would be good for you. And she asked, well, let me see a picture. And I to hubby, send me a picture. And he sent it, and I showed it to her. And she was like, okay, I'm liking this. And so things progressed rather quickly. I just want to clear up my name. I'm not the plug. I know it sounds like that because when relationship number 1 fell, here we go again. He's a good plug. Here we go again. We found her. Well, we didn't. He inquired, and I felt skeptical as a woman. Like, I don't know, because he already know this guy, and I mean, I don't want to do that, but they did it anyway. They presented him anyway, and that was a better fit. So it appeared. That one looked good. She started, and we'll go into more of that a little later too, as far as accepting the culture and stuff like that. So that was a better fit for her, as far as I was concerned. Now, Lacey.
So I am on guy number 2, who is my fiance. And we do have a beautiful baby together. However, guy number 1, I met through my mom and Aunt Wanda and her husband as well. And things did go pretty, I mean, not quickly, but quicker than I'm used to. Yeah, things just didn't work. It didn't work. He was trying to be very controlling, and I was a lot younger than him, and I think he tried to use that as his advantage a lot. So, like, as if I didn't know anything because I was younger than him. So, when she switched my birthday trip to Africa from where we were supposed to be going to then we were going to Nigeria, actually in Nigeria is where I met my fiance. And he really, listened to everything that was going on, and knew about the first guy, and was very helpful, through the process, because I traveled to Africa, so it was a lot. And then the guy I met was her guy number 2 cousin.
Yeah.
So that's how we met. He actually was around our whole trip, and stayed with us and showed us around.
So the truth of the matter is that I'm teasing Wanda about being a plug, but essentially our mission was to get her to her husband, because that's what happened.
Mm-hmm.
I 100% approve that message. Mine is rather short, just like him. I met my husband through his brother. I was able to speak with my husband for 4.5 years before he did eventually come over to the States. We'll get into more of the detail of how he got here a little later on in the show, because we are going to talk about the dynamics of the family and stuff. So I want to welcome all of Team Happy that came in since we started, as well as Happy Gung Gung, the Olam Queen, is here. Appreciate having you here. Welcome, Kiki. Kiki, you guys, will be on next week's segment. We will be talking about self-defense products. She does have a website, and she will bring along some products and show you guys some of her inventory and or stock. Just wanted to make sure I addressed everyone else coming into the chat since we were all speaking. The next mommy workout, welcome. Thank you so much. Yeah, very interesting stories. Hang in there with us, guys. So, ladies, do you find that dating Nigerian men are similar to dating men here in the U.S.? And we can start with Lacey this time.
No, I don't find it is similar to dating men here.
Any particular reason why not, or just no?
It is a lot of things. I just feel like they're more, in my instance, because I can't speak for all of them, and I can't speak for everybody's different situations. But for me, it was more of a, I don't know how to explain it. It was just a deeper connection And it's like, you know, people care about you and love you, but it was just, I don't really know how to explain it. But it was definitely more like trying to, I don't know how to say it.
Let your mom piggyback off of that because I'm sure she got all the words.
Because probably a lot of it is he was very sympathetic and empathetic because she was in love with man number one. Just again, things came out that didn't agree and they didn't mesh at all. Case in point, he knew when we were coming. I told him the flight number, the time we're going to get there. He did not come to the airport. His friends begged him to come to the airport. He would not come to the airport. He showed up a full week later, which was after her birthday, everything. He knew where the birthday party was at. He did not come. And the gentleman was there the whole time. And just hearing everything going on, seeing everything going on. And I seen in his face, and I said to Lacey, I was like, he likes you. And one day she ran out the living room crying and went to her bedroom. And his face was like, oh my God, I want to fix it. Is she going to come back? And I was really like, so at her birthday party, he shot his shot at the beach in February. And the men, the culture is different. A lot of things are different. They are stand-up men. It's not that there are no stand-up men in America. It's just that they're with other people or still searching. Like the truth of the matter, and it's not, it's very different. And as you see, I said I'm on man number 3. We have been talking for about a year and a half now. He getting a real short end of the stick because that's about how much patience I have left, but I'm trying. I am trying still. And yes, I would still date foreigners. Yes.
Yes, because you absolutely, just because you are dating a foreign man does not mean that you lay your morals down. You still have morals intact, and there's some things that you will and will not accept. Although I will say that we are a bit more tolerant when we're dating foreign men. However, there's just still some things that come deep from within, like the core, that you're not willing to compromise or negotiate. So I get it wholeheartedly. Kimberly.
I would say there's not a lot of difference between dating an American man or African American man, a white man, an Asian man, and an African man. Like they all are men. I feel like they all have different cultural things. For me, the big difference is the accent. Okay, I am in love with the accent. Okay, any kind of accent is just super attractive to me now. Like I didn't really pay attention until I started dating. I've only dated one African man, and I married that one African man, and now I feel like I have to have another accent. It's just the way it goes. But as far as dating them, I don't feel like it was any different. They move a little bit faster. I feel like they move a little bit faster. They're a little bit more sure of what they're looking for and what they want. But it's also, to me, motivated by other benefits of being in America. So that's also a motivation behind that moving real fast type thing. But then I also feel like in the actual African culture, it's like an honor to be married, not necessarily kind of dating around and all that kind of stuff. So I feel like here in America, they don't really have that badge of honor of being married. It's almost like you get ready to go to hell. It's like, oh man, you get ready to lock it down, man. You sure you want to do this? All this kind of stuff. Whereas in Africa, it's celebrated more. So I think that's probably overall the biggest cultural difference and the accent. But outside of that, just like you on number three and she on number two, they ain't all the same. Yeah, you just gotta find the right one.
I absolutely agree with you, Kimberly. Um, I will say that chivalry is definitely not dead when it comes to dating foreign men. What we have gotten so far away from here in the U.S. with our men who walk away from their responsibilities, are so not interested in holding the topic of when will we get married, what's our short and long term goals. These Nigerian and or foreign men come right into the equation with hopes of marrying you. When they say love at first sight, it is so true. It is so true. It is something that they're accustomed to, because you have to keep in mind that in a lot of their countries, there are arranged marriages. So most of them end up marrying their partner and then fall in love with them later. Sort of like the show that we have available to us now, Married at First Sight. So they're very accustomed to that. As far as what Kimberly was saying about that accent, baby, that is a cherry on the top. I will not lie. That thing right there alone will have you shivering in places, and then the touch, and then the smell, and then the aura and the essence of the man altogether. We ain't holding back in here tonight, ladies. Go ahead and divulge this information. A lot of them probably have not dated any foreign men. I'm telling you, once you've been loved on like that, it's not going back to that other stuff. It's no way. Listen, I forgot the way back to dating American men. I can tell you that right now, because I threw in the towel a long time ago. When I had come to a fork in the road and I chose the right road, baby, I ain't trying to revisit that other path. Yes, shivering. It's a different. I know it sounds crazy, guys, but I'm telling you, the way they talk to you, the way they make you number one, and they put you way up here on the pedestal, and we have gotten so far away from that. You can't go back to shit when all you have all day, every day is sugar. You just refuse to. It is what it is.
Not quite my experience, but I feel you. Okay.
I do see a question that someone asked, and I believe it was for Judith.
Yes.
The short end of the stick. Okay, yep.
So what I'm saying is, I'm moving like a club with this gentleman. I care about them like they're swinging. They move fast. He talked love early, moving. I'm not talking love yet. I care about him though, and I'm going to take my time because I want it to work and I want it to be right. So I have to take my time, because with the other two, it was like that quick train, them, on the cartoons, boom, boom, boom. And I don't want this one like that, because I want it to last.
Okay, if you ladies don't have anything else you want to add to that question, we can move on to the next. If you had a failed relationship with your Nigerian partner or spouse, could you see yourself doing it again? Would you date another foreigner? And we can start with Kimberly.
Absolutely. It is. I think it's super interesting because, I mean, not to say that American men or African American men don't have anything interesting to offer, but when you're dating a whole nother culture, it's like never boring. It's just like you're constantly learning something. But then also I get that feeling like when you're dating African American, you have that instant connection when certain things happening in the news or whatever. It's just like you have that certain connection with. Basically, look, I'm open to all men. Let's just say it like that. But yeah, absolutely. I'm not going to say, oh, you know what? I'm not going back to that, African men. I think that's when people kind of shoot themselves in the foot, or they kind of like go into a corner after a bad relationship, whether it was a foreigner or not. And they say, I'm never going to date again. I'm never getting married again. I just feel like you just have to, get back up and get back on the horse and keep riding. So absolutely, absolutely. That's probably my number one preference is going to be someone not from this country, but I'm still open to everybody.
I'm sorry, I was answering a question. Someone asked, is everyone on the panel African or African American? Okay, so Judith.
Well, as we're living, I'm on number 3. And like Kimberly said, it's not a African or whatever. This is just where I'm at right now. A lot of American men say I'm unapproachable. I understand because I don't kiki kaka, smile, laugh. I'm not. That's not me. So it can seem unapproachable. But have you tried to approach? Because you find out when you try.
Yes, they tend to go by the appearance of what they see on our face. 9 times out of 10, we are single, we are mothers, we are busy. It's a hustle and bustle. You gotta consider the timing when you're meeting someone. If you're meeting me in a social setting, you will get something totally different. However, if you're meeting me out in the community and I'm hustling between work and picking up my kids and so on and so forth, of course I'm gonna have like a flat affect on my face. So, unfortunately, it's their loss if they let you get away. Lacey?
Can I have the question again? Sorry.
Yeah. If you had a failed relationship with your Nigerian partner or spouse, would you entertain the idea of dating another?
Oh yes, I've had a failed, and then I found my forever. So yes.
I absolutely agree. As I've shared with you guys in the past, this is not my first time dating a foreign man. Let me say that because I have dated a Ghanaian man and I've dated another Nigerian. I will share this again, and I know I've said it in the past live stream, but for the sake of tonight's topic, I'll do it again. If I would have been mentally prepared and mature enough to handle the relationship that I had with the first foreign man who was Ghanaian, my husband probably would not be in my life today. The man was very good to me. That was the individual. I was talking with the ladies before we got on live, and I was sharing with them different things that I experienced with these men. And I said that this particular individual, if ever I poked my bottom lip out, he was handing me his credit card because his only thing was to keep me happy. So he felt like, because back then I was materialistic and I was into the latest this, and that. So he was going to make sure that I had every and anything that I wanted. The man was really good to me. I cannot lie. And I know, when he finally found out that I settled down with a Nigerian man or an African man, period, he wanted to know, what did he do that I couldn't do for you? And the answer is simply, he didn't do anything wrong. I was not mentally prepared to handle that relationship during that time. I was rather younger. I was hot-headed. I was a little flip at the lip. Whatever that man came to me and was telling me things about his culture, my response to him was, y'all do that over there, y'all tribe. We don't do that over here in America. And that man, he loved the fact that I was so outspoken and, bright, or just said whatever vocally. He loved that, but it also hurt him too, that I would not embrace his culture. So, will I do it again? Absolutely. I have, again, this is not my first time. This is my last. My husband is it. It stops here. Ladies, do you find yourself learning and or embracing the culture? And if so, give some examples. Kimberly?
Well, if you guys subscribe to my channel, you will see that I have done lots to kind of embrace the culture. My latest thing was actually going to Africa, meeting his family, cooking with his family. I think the food is amazing. So that's probably my number one thing. And then the next thing is, garments. I, like to wear a lot of jewelries and African inspired clothes and head wraps and stuff like that. And of course, I love the music. I think all music in the African American culture kind of derived from Africa in some sort of way with the beat and the dances and stuff like that. So, yeah, the music, the food, the clothes. When it comes down to like the rituals and stuff, I think I'm not so into that part. And that's only because my husband is not into that part either. It's just like everybody wants to be American now instead of you want some more? Okay. Okay, thank you. So it's like if he was more into it, I probably would be more into it too. Or if his family were more into it, I'd probably be more into it too. But they basically live their lives like Americans. So I don't really have a lot to adjust to other than the language.
Miss Judith?
So I'd like to believe that I've, especially with God number two, embracing, because he's a Muslim, I'm not Muslim. I would wake him up for prayer and different things. I was learning their language. So I would say yes, I embrace the culture. And I don't have a problem. I can cook, so I'm sure that I could figure out the African food like the African people. There's nothing wrong with it. So yes, I absolutely am.
Lacey?
No. No, I haven't. My mom really good. They go. You can play it. Learn wherever.
Me, myself, there are some things about the culture that I absolutely adore. And the biggest one being family. How in tune they are to family.
That is the only one that I agree with as well.
You agree with that?
Family ordinances are, it is very family.
It really is.
But as far as food and learning the food, no.
Well, I too, like Judith, I am so interested in the food. And Kimberly, I saw you eating it too. The music, of course. I like the whole social aspect as well. However, the family portion is what I really gravitate towards the most. Now, being an American woman, and a lot of you women in here probably feel the same way as me. When you are in a relationship with someone, the last thing you want that person to do when y'all have a falling out is to run tell your mama or run tell your sister and everything what's going on under your roof. Unfortunately, you don't get to decide that when you are dating a Nigerian and or foreign man.
Now I want to listen to his mama. Everything he mad. That's who I go to. So I'm the one that be doing. But he don't tell nothing about me. He don't talk about me to his friends. When he has problems, he'll hint like, "Hey, what if you was in this situation?" kind of thing. But he won't say that that's what we're going through. But I think they all know. But he's not like that. I am.
In my situation, honey, if it go down to here tonight, me and Tony have an argument. Oh, he gonna run tell my mama, and this how it normally go. Ring, hello. What y'all doing? Oh, we ain't doing nothing. Me and the kids such and such. What you do to Tony? It's never what's going on with you, Tony. What you do to Tony? And I'm like, Ma. And then I don't know if I used to get angry that I had to even answer that. But now I respect it after sitting down with him, after him doing it a few times, and I was trying to train him my way. Like, listen here, we don't play that over here. I don't know what the women doing over there, but we don't go run tell them what's going on under our roof. And especially you don't go run tell my mom. Now, you done chose the wrong person. When he sat down and told me, like, listen, we go to the family. The family is going to push for us to stay together. If you go to your girlfriend's going to say to you, oh, you could do better. You ain't got to do that. Girl, come on back to America, blah, blah, blah. When we go to the family going to say, well, y'all need to work it out. Oh, my mom, oh, Wanda, what's going to happen? You know them kids love Tony. She going to use the kids. She used everything she got. I can't leave Tony if I ever wanted to. Not that I ever even entertained it, but I'm just saying he do get on my nerves like every other husband get on their wives' nerves. But the first thing she say is, what you do to Tony? After she say, what y'all doing? And then through all the time, even when we're having good times, she always say, boy, I love my son-in-law. And I just laugh at her because she, in her mind, if you're mad at him, you might as well get it out of here because it ain't going down. You ain't leaving no Tony. That's what it is. So, yeah, Tony stuck with me. I'm stuck with Tony. And he even say, Mama, you can leave me all you want. I'm not divorcing your family. So it is what it is. I'm stuck with this man, y'all. Anybody else want to add anything else?
Listen, my family did not accept and still has not accepted my husband. So he doesn't have the luxury of calling my family. Because if he did, he ain't getting nowhere with that. That's a bad idea. Bad idea to call my family. He don't even have their phone numbers. Not even when he was here. So, because they didn't want me to marry him. They didn't like him. They thought he was using me and all this kind of stuff. So for me, it was a different kind of dynamic. I literally didn't have anyone that I could run to but his family to talk about how to communicate with him better. What did he mean when he said this? Because I have to kind of understand where he was coming from and how he grew up and stuff like that. So I didn't have anybody, friends, family, nobody. All I had was his dad. God rest his soul. He passed of cancer. And then his mom was very timid and quiet, but his sisters are the ones who came through for us the most and kind of helping me to understand him and what he knew about when he do certain things and stuff like that. So my dynamic was a lot different. That's why I do still run to them because they're the only one who kind of really can help me to understand, and they want the best for me. They don't ever side with him. They have told me to leave him several times. So it's not that they want us to stay together necessarily. It's more so they want both of us to be happy. So we are at the point now where we still can't communicate, even though we're not together, so to speak. Guys, it's a little foggy up here. I can't really put no title on what we are right now. But it's complicated. If you've seen any of my videos, especially my travel vlogs in Nigeria, you guys can probably get a better idea what I'm talking about. But yeah, so they want what's best for the both of us, and I think that dynamic is really special to me. Where I'm like Tony, I might divorce him, but I'm not divorcing his family. So that's how I feel about it.
Yes, my future son-in-law definitely comes to me, calls and talks to me, and what's going on, and sometimes it's just a well check-in, but sometimes it's a venting check-in. When he's going through something with Precious, right?
When Precious get on his tap dance on his last nerve, he gonna hang up with her, who's on the opposite side of the room, and call the mama and vent like she ain't right there in the midst of it anyway. You should ask her to put her on the speakerphone. But yeah, listen, he in his eyes he was getting you off to the side so you could just listen to him with no interference from her. So I get it, baby. Family oriented. Look at Mr. Negative in the building, y'all. I'm sorry, y'all. I'm trying to block some comments here. Okay. So the next question, do you believe that Nigerian men are more intimate than American men? I know y'all don't want me to start. So let's go with Judith.
Um, I believe so everybody's different, period. So I think that I do believe that they are more compassionate, and passion is a part of that word. So naturally, um, sometimes American men are focused on what the American man wants. But you can't. You're not attentive. Attentive. We need attentiveness. So yes, they definitely are, and it's just some stuff you can't compare. And again, like I said, there could be American men out there that what we speaking is probably some American men out there like this. I'm sure they're married and with their significant others. So I mean, so ladies, sign up for the Nigerian, get the Nigerian man class.
Listen, y'all better get down with it. I see a comment I have to address. Oh, I heard from my friend that they know how to please and will do it without asking for it in return. That's what I heard. Baby, I'm here to tell you, yes, Lord, yes. To your will and to your way. Yes, I'm going to church now. Yes, yes, yes. I'm telling you that's true. Kim obviously is not in her head no, so she have a different experience. Lacey and Judith, if you agree with me, please throw your hands in the air. I say yes. Is it a different? Okay. Okay. It's true, ladies. It's true. They are way more intimate. Their love language is so heightened. Again, it's because they come in with the motive of getting married. They come in with it in mind. They don't come. It's what they say is this is not child's play. It's not. I will go a little further, and I don't normally do this, y'all, but for the sake of this. So, as I stated, hubby and I were talking 4.5 years before he arrived. In my mind, I was treating it like my normal relationships. We couldn't get together that night when he arrived because I had the little babies and things just didn't work out that way. However, the next day, when we got together, he was on go. And I was like, but wait a minute, you just got here. And he was like, are you kidding me? We went through all of that for 4.5 years. What are you talking about? So I'm like, you know what? Yeah, you're right. We're grown around here. It went down. It ain't stopped yet. It is what it is. We're two consenting adults. Let's do this. So yeah. And I was completely blown away when I dated other men in the past that were, I told you I had another Nigerian, a different age. So he was on something different. Culturally, we don't do that. Not my hubby. He was down for whatever. And so, it is what it is. So, let me see. Where did we stop off?
I didn't.
Okay, go ahead, Kim.
Listen, I think I may be a little bit hard to please listening to y'all, but I just feel like my husband is not that type of man. You know how those guys that just are not romantic, they don't know where to start, they ain't even trying. Like in the very beginning, he would try to light candles and stuff like that, but I mean, I still thought it was just like, super basic. Like I've had much better experiences with American men on the romance side. But at the same time, he seems to be more like attentive to like how to please, like what do you want me to do? What should I do? And I hate that question. I like for you to show me what you have. But he's always asking, how should I do it? Even like now when we're parenting, he's always asking. So I know that he cares. Like, I know he has that that want to be able to be a satisfying partner, but to me, he just not meeting the standards for me. I just had better experiences with African American men.
If I may, because we all grown here, if I'm not mistaken, ain't no babies on there. You got to teach them how to please you. Nobody know it better than you.
I've tried. Okay, I'm just, I don't know.
I see the shy. Get out of it. You got to teach them how to please you.
No, I've taught him things, right? We've been there.
You might have
in the
forgot.
very beginning. But after all the things that has happened and me going to Nigeria thinking that you were going to pick up where we left off type thing, well, not really thinking that because there's a lot of things that happen, but it just ain't there. It ain't there. I just think he has a different mindset now. And even back then, it was just more like he was shy, and I guess certain things he felt like was not, like, it's like he didn't want me to think I was a slut or something like that. He's like, that's how you treat, them kind of girls. You're not that kind of girl, so I don't want to do these things to you. Like he had that type of attitude. And I'm just like, okay, you know what? All right. So no, in that department, I was not that satisfied.
Oh, I definitely understand. But that's why I said you got to teach them. See, I didn't. So, like I said, guy number 2, I had no plans on staying with him after his attitude while we were there. So, no, I didn't desire to teach him anything either. But he wasn't working with a good package, nothing. So, it wasn't even worth my time to try anything. I'm just trying to be real.
Lacey, get your mama.
Not that this is my mom.
Listen, she know the story. She know. But yeah, I get it. But I mean, I don't know.
Everybody can't handle you, Judith. I'm sorry. It is what it is. You are cut from a different cloth, sweetie. Judith is a freak. And so this man who has only been in his little culture, in his little natural habitat, you blew his mind turning all them tricks. You turned some tricks that man never heard of before. So he froze. It was like a deer caught in headlight. He didn't know what to do. He was not prepared for what you came with. You have to understand the women that they're used to dating is their own cultural women who are submissive and who are, inexperienced. And then you have this whole American woman that shows up like, let's go. He was intimidated by that. And then you were willing to turn all those different tricks, baby. It's like when you sleep with a man for the first time. He's not going to give his best performance. And probably neither will you. Because, you got
your best performance the first time. First impression.
He's trying. But some brothers do overplay their stroke. You know that, right? They sit there and do all that bragging. Yeah, girl, I'm going to tear this stuff up. And then when you get there, you look like that ain't about nothing. Is that your navel? Like, so, you probably intimidated the heck out of that man. It is what it is. Let's keep it 100 here. You were turning some tricks because if you remember, I wasn't with you in Nigeria. He was calling America, telling what was going on. Yeah. Judith was around there doing some things because I had to call Lacey like, where's your mom? And Lacey was like, Wanda, you need to talk to her. I'm like, she around there doing some stuff. And I had to get her on the phone like, what did you do to that man? He around here calling Tony 5 a.m. It was crazy because the time zone difference. Right. So the whole 3 weeks that they were in Nigeria, my phone wouldn't stop ringing. I had no peace in my house because she was around there turning tricks that she had no business doing over in Nigeria, treating those men like they were, equally yoked. You can't do that. Slow and steady wins. That's what I tell people all the time. You know better than that. Yeah, she listen all the way messed up, Deandra.
That's what I mean by first impressions. He blew it. He blew a good thing. He blew a good thing.
It was unfortunate, but he was not experienced, and so you went in there aggressively. You were supposed to crawl with that man. Baby steps. You really were, because it was like you mishandled.
He should have talked and not run.
You mishandled that man because you were supposed to treat him delicately like a virgin, and unfortunately that wasn't the case.
Oh well. You live and you learn. Next.
I keep telling y'all, if y'all don't know Judith, when Building Ace Legacy channel takes off, y'all got to follow their journey. This girl has no filter, as you can see, and she's a complete open book. So moving on to the next question, do you have a good rapport or relationship with your partner's family? Do you have a good rapport and or relationship with your partner's family? I'm going to let Lacey go this time.
I do. With the exception of kind of his parents, only because they don't.
There you go now. I wonder if you're on here.
Speak English, and I don't speak their language either. But other than that, I have a really good relationship with his family. We talk a lot. They hit me up on Facebook. We talk on WhatsApp. They call to see the baby.
They still go.
Oh, I think we're still on.
Oh, yeah.
Sorry, my mom hit something on the computer.
My bad, guys.
But yes, I do have a really good relationship with them.
Kimberly?
Yeah, I think I kind of mentioned before how, the dynamic of me not having anyone else to turn to. It wasn't like a forced situation, but their family is so sweet. I think that they were a lot more inviting and inclusive and not so judgy when it came to him dating someone. And I think because I'm not even gonna say I think it's because they value American women. They put them up here. Oh, you're from America, you must be done. Let's be nice to her type of thing. I don't even think it was that. It's genuine family that family feel that they have in their hearts that they wanted to really get to know me. They call, they be a part of Prince's birthday party. I call them on virtually on WhatsApp so they can see what's going on and be a part of it since they're not actually here. So really good relationship with them. I talk to them more than I talk to him. Like I would much rather have a conversation with his sisters than to talk to him. So yes.
So I did, and being over there, we met his mom, and he has 3 sisters. The one sister came over and cooked for us and everything, with the seamstress that made our attire for our engagement ceremony over there. So I mean, I feel like we had a decent relationship. His mom just worried because she felt like, the Nigerian people would take advantage of us, but they were with us the whole time. We weren't alone or anything. So, but we had a good time. We stayed in the Airbnb. But yeah, they all came over because the ceremony was there. They had a big yard and we rented tents and stuff. It was nice. But yeah, we met a lot of their family then.
I will say though, I don't get along with his brother. Not that I don't get along with him, but I think we have an understanding that we ain't gonna get along because I think I'm a little bit too mouthy for him. So he sees me in a different light. But if it comes down to him needs blah 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 blah, his brother will come through and help out and make it happen. but I don't really rock with him like that. I don't really rock with him
For myself, I have a great relationship with my husband's family. Um, I think I probably have the best relationship opposed to the other ladies because, and I mean this as respectful as possible, but my husband's mother do not speak English, so what do I have to lose? I can't argue with her. I can't have a disagreement with her. All we can do is FaceTime and smile at each other because she'll say to Tony, let me speak to Wanda, like let me see her. I just want to hear her voice or see her. So I think I'm in the best possible space right now as far as relationships and family dynamics. However, there is a total of 8 of them. So with his one sister and the rest are all brothers, I do have a good rapport with all of them. They share photos and stuff with me all the time. We're all on each other's social media. Family functions, like I think it was 2 weeks ago. His brother, his sister, and sister-in-law, well, came in to visit. So, yeah, good relationship all the way around. I don't have any problems and or concerns. Sierra, if you are available, can you drop the links for Building Ace Legacy and Kimberly Arlinda? Thank you so much. Your pleasure is asking for your channel links. She is a great supporter, Your Pleasure 721. So I'm certain that she will come over to check out your content. I will say, Your Pleasure, that Building Ace Legacy is a rather newer channel and she's slow walking, which is why I invited her on the panel tonight too, because I need her to open up and get things moving over there. However, Kimberly Arlinda is the complete opposite. She is on the flip side of things. Go over. You can start from the beginning because I know I am. I wanted to see where it all started. But at the same time, I was trying to keep up with the current situation. Very interesting channel. She lays it all out on the line just like she is here tonight. Open book. She don't hold back any blows. So for anybody who has not visited Kimberly Arlinda, please go check out her channel. Also go check out Building Ace Legacy. She is a newer channel. However, she is starting from the beginning of her journey with her significant other and how, they got their beautiful baby girl. So you want to visit both channels. Very interesting. Judith, again, is attached to Building Ace eventually. I'm going to get her to branch off and get her own channel because I think her story need to be told as well. Moving on to the next question. What do you expect? And this question is for Judith and Lacey. And then I'll ask the question differently for Kimberly. What do you expect of your partner in regards to them moving to the U.S.? And for Kimberly, because her situation is different, what do you expect of your partner if you relocate to his country? We can start with Judith.
Okay, so my expectation is that he saves up money to prove that this is what he wants to do. He says he wants to come here. I absolutely there's a nice price tag on it. So as long as he's saving to assist with that, then we'll get somewhere.
Okay. Lacey, because you're actually in the process of filing him in for immigration. Where do you stand? What are your expectations when he gets to the U.S.?
So my expectations when he get here, number one is for this wedding to go through when he gets here. He does want to enroll in classes because he's a teacher there. So in order for him to get that type of job here, he has to go through classes to learn just different things because of the language and just how they do things in Nigeria as opposed to how they do things here. To do his classes, look after his daughter, make
And
more
future
kids.
children.
Yeah. I mean, and just keep loving me the way that he's been doing, respecting me the way he's been doing, communicating the way he's been doing, and we'll be good. If we work out.
Okay, so before we go over to Kimberly, I really don't have any expectations because we're so far in, but I can go back to when there were expectations. Honestly, I wasn't even sold on the fact that he was really coming to the U.S. It was more like a surprise for my part. His brother filed him in. I didn't do that part. So for anyone who was inquiring, because a lot of people assume or they just want to know and they don't know how to ask, I did not file my husband in. His brother did. However, when he came and we connected, like I told you guys, I couldn't get with him the first night. Oh, but when I got with him the next morning, we never separated since. He went back to Nigeria twice. One time to go get that divorce in hand so he can come back and do things the right way with me. And the second time was just last year in October, and I shared with you guys on my journey. He went to visit his mother who was sick, and he came back for my birthday in November. So he was gone a month. But again, I did not file him in like for the visit. However, once we were married, the immigrations process for me started at that moment. So for Kimberly, if you plan, which I know you do have plans on moving to Africa, and I think you're settled on a certain area, that's for you to divulge. What are your plans? Like, what are your expectations for your husband? Hubgerian, if you... Hubgerian is
I
what
don't
she
call him
calls
that
it.
anymore. I call him my baby daddy now. Okay, that's what we are now.
Ooh, he transitioned?
Yeah, transition. It's a joke. We all laugh about it. But he's a little hurt, but he'll be all right. Anyway, so for my story, we were in the process of him. I met him here. He was already in the States. He had already come. His family had filed for him to come over too for a visit. While he was here, we met. We got together. He never left. Kind of like Miss Wanda. However, once we got married, we were trying to switch his, what is it called? Switch to full citizenship from his visitation visa. I think that's what it's called. And we were so close, and then he went to prison, and that kind of killed everything. That's why he's back in Nigeria now, and that's why I am. Well, I was considering moving to Africa prior to even meeting him, but that's why now I'm considering moving there because we have a son together, and I think the family dynamic is super important for me as well as him for them to be close together. However, I would rather live in Ghana. My expectations for him will be the same expectation I would have for anybody I have a son with. Provide, protect, be respectful. Don't bring no nonsense to my life. But it's not necessarily a big financial expectation that I have for him. I plan to take care of myself while I'm there. I plan to live a single lifestyle while I'm there. But because we're kind of separating, and I don't know, we're in a weird space. Okay, so it's the same as the African American man. If you are going to be with me, I have those same expectations. Take care of my kids, take care of the household, communicate, all that kind of stuff. But for us, it's a little bit different because he has another wife there in Nigeria that he also has a son with, that he was married to before he married me. But we just found out about it not too long ago. So he kind of has a dual responsibility. So I also expect for him to take care of her. I also expect for him to take care of that other son. I also expect for him to take care of, himself in the midst of that, because a lot of times especially when I was in Nigeria, the back and forth between me and his other wife and his family and the family that me and Prince coming over there, he was exhausted. He was not taking care of himself. He was not resting.
One moment, Kim. I see someone asking you, "Wow, how long will he be in jail?" And I hope he get out soon. If you want to clarify that.
Oh, he's out. He did a sentence. I think it was 18 months. And then they deported him from the jail right straight to Nigeria. So I didn't get a chance to see him. But he's out now. He's been out since it's almost 2 years. It's been 2 years since he's been out.
So just to clarify things, Mommy Workout, she met him here in the U.S. through a dating website. They eventually started dating and ended up getting married. They, expanded their family and had their son. And then eventually, unfortunately, one day he was arrested, like in the middle of the night, Kim.
It was early morning. I was getting ready for work.
Okay, so they came to her house and arrested him, and he did a jail term here in the U.S., but after his time was completed, he was deported back to Nigeria. So things have a twist with her situation. Like she said, she was always interested in moving to Africa, but the fact that they have the son together and the whole family dynamic is so important for her. Yeah, she's definitely willing to move over to Africa. They do have another question in there for you, Kim. Well, one of them said, "Wow, thank you for being so open. It's my first time seeing you ladies. I just subscribed to both channels." So you guys got quite a few subscriptions in here tonight. Whitaker's Way is asking, why was he arrested, if you want to share that.
Yeah, I don't mind. And this is partly the reason why I don't want to continue with him. Fraud. The number one thing that Nigerians are known for, fraud. But in his situation, he was trying to get away from it. When he came to America, he was trying to change his life around, and he wanted something different for himself. So he saw that different thing with me, and that's what made him want to stay in America. And once I got pregnant, he didn't have his work authorization. It was hard. I was very, very sick, so I had been put like on bed rest from my doctor, so I wasn't working, and things were just getting really tight. So he went back to what he knew. And when he did that, you can do it over there, you might not get caught, but over here it's a little bit different. So, and the people that he was working with were over there, so they got him to try to get the big dog, and he wouldn't snitch. So that whole snitching thing. He's more African American than he is Nigerian. Sometimes I feel like, so he wouldn't snitch. So he got the time and got deported. And we had already planned that I was going to come there. That he was going to go back. I was going to come there. I was going to live there. We had already had it planned out. So yeah, that's what he got arrested for: fraudulent internet fraud.
I would like to piggyback off of that. When I first dated the first African guy, he was Ghanaian. You could not tell me today that I would be married to a Nigerian man, because just like we have prejudice here in the U.S., they have what they call tribal wars over in their countries. So their attack is, this tribe is bad, that tribe is bad. And Nigerians were like number one, notorious to be known for fraud and things of that nature. Just like with any other culture, I would just like to clear that up. It's the individual. It's not the particular culture or the tribe. So I don't want anybody to take away anything negative as far as Nigerian, because of course I'm walking around with a Nigerian name now, so I have to stand up for mine. And not only that, it's the individual. Just like an American, you're going to have a great American citizen and you're going to have a piss poor American citizen. It's just unfortunate that other tribes or other countries from Africa has put this label on Nigerians, and went so far as to use them. Like, if you notice, they come with these lottery tickets and this and that, and they're always in your email begging for money, and it's not, and it's unfortunate, but whenever, in my experience, trying to send money or anything when it comes to Nigeria is one of the hardest places for an American to try to send money. I don't know if you guys had any experience with that. And as far as what Kimberly was talking about with the whole immigrations for the work authorization, it is a bit much. So I just want to give Judith and Lacey, because I know you guys have not gotten to that point yet. Really, when you set up your expectations for what you are expecting when he arrives in the country, be prepared mentally to know that you're going to take on a lot of the financial responsibility, because it is very hard for them to obtain work, legal work. And the one thing you want to do is have them do anything that's not legal, because with immigrations, there is a very long, extensive list of things that can get these individuals deported. So just be mentally prepared that you will be the breadwinner for some time, at least until, you guys are married, you have your license, your paperwork is submitted, and they obtain the work authorization so that they can go outside of the home and assist you with bills and bringing in the money. So just be prepared mentally that for that first year, you're basically going to be still doing it the way you are now.
And that's how different.
Yeah, it's gonna.
Right.
But in that sense too, he was very helpful in other ways. Like, they hate not being able to provide. Okay, they hate it. So I feel like, what he did was wrong, but I felt like where he was coming from, his heart was in the right place, because I was about to give birth and I was having a lot of complications. I had a surgery with Prince before Prince was born to remove something that was growing inside of me. It was a scary thing from start to finish. So his biggest thing was that I'm not providing, and that really hurt him. So what he did was wrong, but I'm not mad at him for that. But I feel like, the aftermath is what makes the man. And the aftermath haven't quite turned around. So
for my situation, I absolutely agree. When he was in a position, he was not in a position to help financially the way he wanted to, because he always, and I always tell you guys, he's a barber. He's a rolling barber. And he also does sign language. So he always had money coming in, but he was used to going out to work, and that would be his other sources of income. So when it was his only source of income, it was killing him. Like, no, I'm supposed to give you X, Y, and Z, and I'm only supposed to deal with this. To this day, when he gets up in the morning and I'm like, you look tired, you don't look like you're up to it, and he's like, no, I gotta go make your money. So that's what's in his mind. I'm going to make my wife's money. Every decision that he make as far as his job, whenever anybody approaches him like, Tony, he said, I have to ask my wife. And I know that's strange to his coworkers and his boss and his peers, but he makes it very clear to immigrations when they try to ask us questions, and to everybody that we come in contact with, I'm a family man first. Even with DCP&P, when they had to come into the home when we were doing the whole transition and adopting the children, I distinctly remember one of the ladies kept saying to him, you have a background that's equivalent to the U.S. Marines here. You mean to tell me you would stay stationed here in New Jersey when there are a lot of jobs down in the South or other states that you can go and get X, Y, Z, like so much money? And he was like, if it involves leaving Wanda and the kids, that is not an option for me. I'll pass. So they are when I'm telling you guys, they are very family oriented, and they really want to financially support. They support more than any American man that I've ever dealt with. They make sure those bills are paid. They make sure that you, your wife, or the spouse or the partner is satisfied financially, emotionally. You Trust me, it's a whole different type of relationship when you date these men. I can't put Tony up on a pedestal enough because he really is a good man. That's why my mom is like, what did you do to him? Because she knows he's such a good man. She not trying to hear he did nothing wrong. She loved her grandson. I mean, her son-in-law. Let me tell you all that now. So, yeah. They really are good men, and I can't take that away from them. Are there some lousy ones? Sure. Just like anybody else. But for the most part, they go above and beyond. It's something that we heard about that used to exist with African American men, but you have to reach so far back to your grandmom and your great aunties and all them to find these good stories. It's unfortunate. They are willing to take on the responsibilities that African American men are abandoning their families. They come right in and pick up in the family dynamic and like, what do we need to do? When you start dating them in the beginning and you say, well, I have this problem. No, it's our problem. So that's what you're looking for. That's what I'm telling you. All that other stuff, that be the that accent is just a cherry on the top because there's so much good that comes with them. That again, I will not go back ever and look for what I might be missing in American men. I had enough failed relationships. And I know a lot of brothers that watch this is not going to be in agreement. I had enough failed relationships. I have been disrespected by enough American men. I will not compromise my status of queen ever again. It is what it is. So our next question, ladies, and we kind of touched on it already, but we can get a little more in depth if you like. How do you feel about knowing that their culture allows for them to have multiple wives? And will you ever entertain the idea of having a sister wife? I agree, Judith, they are scarce tonight. They'll catch the replay.
Unfortunately.
We can start with Lacey on this one. How do you feel about knowing that they can accept or have multiple wives? And are you okay with entertaining the idea of being a sister wife?
No, I'm not okay with it. My husband can't accept another wife. No, I'm not all right with that. And Sierra, the wedding date is October 20th of this year.
Ooh, a fall wedding.
We have a million views for that wedding.
Yes.
What about you, Judith? Ask the question.
So
Y'all already know you're go ham.
I don't have a problem with, the sister wives and the people that accept that and agree into that. Personally, no, I'm not a sharer. I don't want to share.
I am in agreement. What's mine is mine. I don't want to fool with your stuff, and please don't mess with mine. So I would have to say I don't have any problems with other people doing it, but me myself, it's a no-go.
So I also want to add, the reality is in America, we've been in those relationships, being sister wives and not knowing we are sister wife. Okay? And that's the truth. Now, so the fact that a man can say, look, this is what's going on, XYZ, you gonna take it or leave it.
Yeah.
But
I would respect that. I have shared with my community in the past that when I was 25, I dated a man that was 42. We worked together. We did everything. He put me in my apartment, helped me get my first car, everything. Unfortunately, about 10 months into that relationship, I get this call from his wife. I know that he had a indentation of a ring on his finger. However, he never wore a ring. The story that was presented to me was he was married, of course, and now divorced. Well, separated, because they just couldn't work it out, and they had been separated so long and in the process of a divorce. until I got this call from this woman who told me otherwise. She was not very pleasant. She called me everything but a child of God. I think she was more frustrated with the fact that I was a younger woman, opposed to the fact that he was just cheating. And that's just to be honest. While I was explaining to her, like, ma'am, and I really was addressing her, ma'am, out of respect, like, ma'am, I'm just finding out about this now. I had no knowledge. So actually, you found out before me. But she was just in a place of anger and rage that she wasn't trying to hear any and everything I had to say. So, unfortunately, in that particular situation, I was placed in that situation. However, I clipped him. And the reason why I did that is because, number one, you did not give me an opportunity to make a choice. You put me into a situation that I had no knowledge of. And number two, I just can't trust you. Because this woman had access to me. I didn't know anything, and I could have been placed in harm's way. So, again, yes, we are put into these situations quite often, even with American men. And I guess I would, when I look at it like that, respect it better if you present it to me that way. I know that Kim is in agreement because she shared that she is in agreement with, and she even entertained the idea before it was presented to her. So that's her story to tell, and I let her tell it now.
Okay, so for me, I had never in a million years thought I would ever consider anything with a sister wife or sharing a man or anything like that. However, once he went to prison, and knowing that he wasn't going to come home, that he was going to be deported, and I wasn't going to be able to get over to Africa for quite some time. What I had presented or what we had discussed was, do we have an open marriage? Do we break up and, you know, get back together once I'm there and try again once I'm there? Do we, you know, what do we do? We had that conversation, and he decided, you know, I don't want to be in a open marriage. It's just me and you, because he wasn't okay with me dating other men with it being an open marriage. And that's me entertaining, like, okay, I have a man and I know that he's out with someone else, because this is a conversation that we're putting out on the table and being open about it, which is why I like the word open. It's not about we just sleep with whoever we want to sleep with. It's about we're communicating and being honest with each other about how we're feeling, what we're doing, and how we're growing, and what we want out of life in our relationship and apart from our relationship. So for this particular situation is when I started to think about it, not knowing he was already married. Okay, so he gets there. He also, she was in London. It's a long story, y'all. One day I'll do a story time. She was in London. I think when she heard he was back in Africa, she comes back. He had no plans on getting back with her when he got there. But of course, he's just getting out of jail. She comes back and she's saying, you owe me. They've been together for now almost a decade. So it was well before him coming to America and all of that kind of stuff that he got married to her right before he traveled to America. And it was just kind of like a promise to her that he'll be back. So I don't think he really valued marriage. Like, I think he looks at it as a status. I'm a married man. I'm a big guy. This is more of a status thing for him. Not necessarily I value the relationship. But once I started to hear females in the background when I'm calling, he would hang up a lot. When I start to, have these conversations with him, he wasn't being open like we discussed. He wasn't being honest like we discussed. And then I started hearing babies crying in the background. So she done had a whole baby by the time I actually found out that he was married to her. Now, when I went there, we did have a chance to meet, and there's a video on my channel. I did meet her. Once I found out, I was like, well, you're in this situation. How do you feel? Do you want to be with her? Do you want to stay with her? I handled it in such a mature way. It's just like he almost can't believe that I didn't turn into, one of those people off of them reality shows. So, and start trying to be angry at her. And then right before I came to Africa is when I found out that he was married to her first. I was in the impression that he met her there. he had the baby and he was obligated to marry her because he was in, that country. So that's when I had like a better sense of it. Okay, well, you had a baby with her. You got to take care of her in that country. You're not leaving no child like that. You got to take care of her. You got to provide for her. Blah blah blah. So I was more open to it then. So right before I came, I find out that they've been married quite some time before he even came to America. So when we met, we kind of have similar stories. We kind of like clicked on a similar way as like, hey, we love him. We kind of have like this unconditional love for him kind of thing. How hurt she was when she found out about me, how hurt I was. We shared our hearts with each other. It wasn't a violent, catty, type of situation. It was one of the most mature things. It wasn't something we really wanted to do. But at the same time, I see how he takes care of her. He don't take care of me like that. And I don't know if it's because of where he is, but he don't take care of me the way he takes care of her. He's not providing for me like he provides for her. And that's where I'm like, okay, if it's going to be a sister-wife situation, you got to treat us equal. If it's not going to be equal, then I'm not okay with this sister-wife situation. And so now we're in this place of what are we doing? Where are we going? Am I splitting? Am I not splitting? Like, it's
Do you think he hears you when you say you need a balance? Because you said you guys are trying to figure it out.
When I was there, we had that conversation. He was like, I can do that. I can do it. It's like he didn't want me to leave him. He's like, I didn't think that you would come to this conclusion that you would leave me, because I was like, yeah, I mean, what benefit am I having in staying with you if my bills not getting paid? I'm paying all my bills for myself. Okay. I have to beg you to send something over. I have to act like I'm just so hurt and I just really can't do it. I don't have energy for that. And that's it.
Let me explain something. Some years ago, I had a coworker who, and this was when I was with my ex, the Ghanaian guy. So I was pulled from one location to another, which I explained to you guys. It happens to me a lot at work. So I was pulled to this location, and I worked with this individual. I was speaking with my ex on the phone, and she heard the accent. So she was like, where's your man from? And I was like, oh, he's from Africa. He's from Ghana. So she was immediately intrigued by that. So when I got off the phone with him, and we had to work like 9 hours together that night, we talked about a lot. And immediately she shared with me a situation that she was going through that was very crazy. And I can't imagine that she have it figured out to this day. So whenever you think that your situation is a bit much, hear this one. So she said to me that she was introduced to this African gentleman, and they were talking. And this was like October. So 2 months later in November, unfortunately, her son passed away on Christmas night in her kitchen. She went downstairs because she couldn't sleep to get herself something to drink and found her son dead on the floor. Unfortunately, the guy took complete advantage of the situation, and was like, oh my God, you can't be alone. I need to marry you. I need to protect you. And with her being vulnerable, she went along with it. So in early January, mind you, this was Christmas night when he died, so they had to get through the funeral service, which was right after the beginning of the year. They married. A month later, she before I go there, she said that he was never being intimate, never making any passes, act like he wasn't even interested in her sexually. A month passed. She came home from work one day, and everything was completely removed from the home. He took all the furniture and everything and left. This woman was trying to get a divorce but had nowhere to start, because you wouldn't believe that he married her under someone else's name. She has no idea who she's married to, and they can't figure out, or up until the last time I talked to her a couple of years ago, couldn't figure out where to begin with the whole divorce process and how to get her out of that situation. She had absolutely no idea who she was married to. If that isn't crazy, can you imagine you have to live the rest of your life being called his name? You don't even know whose surname it is. You don't know where to begin. Immigrations didn't know what to do with that situation because they've never had something like that happen. If you can't tell me who you're married to, then I can't help you get out of it. It's crazy. So whenever you think your situation is crazy, just think that someone else always had it worse. Yours can be worked out. You can agree to go along with it, or you can say, you know what? I don't want no parts of it. I just want to deal with you as what you call him now, my baby daddy. You have a choice still. This individual did not. As sad as it is, she did not. It's crazy. There are some scammers out here. It's unfortunate, but I've never heard anyone scam to that degree. But can you just imagine your whole life has been taken from you because you don't even know who you are because you don't know who he is? It's crazy, but it happens. I see everybody in the chat like, yeah, that's different, guys. I'm telling you, when it comes to dating, I'm going to say immigrants on a whole, you have to be mindful. You have to know who you're dating. And you really should be certain that you get into the family dynamics. Now, I can say with Building Ace Legacy, with the first gentleman she dated, that it was a failed relationship. He was frustrated because she was digging too much. She was being the PI in that situation and he couldn't handle it. But I kept telling her, go for it, because these are the questions that you should be asking. Why is he deterring you from asking questions that is going to affect you in the long run? You have to be mindful. It's cheaper. Okay. Yeah, he took advantage of her while she was grieving. Yeah, I see what you said. It's tough. Yeah. But Kimberly, if you want to go a little more on your situation, it's fine.
Can I say something real fast? So I would like to say, because I am not with the whole sister wife thing. However, I do feel like a lot of times in situations we say something, but until we are put in that situation, we don't really know what we would do. So even though, I mean, I'm not for a sister wife, but I would let him know that. But until I'm placed in that situation, I can't be like, you know, I know I'm not going to do it, but I'm just saying in another instance or something, that it would be different. Because I feel like a lot of times we say, oh, no, never, never, never. But then once you're placed in it, you can't just be like, all the feelings and all the relationship and all the everything that we ever had, I'm just going to let it go because, you know, you married to somebody else. And you know what I mean? So I just wanted to throw that in there, even though I'm not with it. Because, I mean, it can't happen with my husband. He cannot do it.
Well, if somebody show up and say they married to Tony, y'all might as well go ahead and get the bail money together. I can tell y'all right now. Because, or get me my black dress and my veil. Something's going to have to happen. Yeah. It's not gonna be.
It's gonna be 2 funerals.
What? I'm not trying to hear it. It's true though. I do absolutely agree with you, Lacey. Once you're put in that situation, you will automatically have to adjust your way of thinking, and you would have to do things differently. Especially like with Kim's situation where there is a baby involved. So we cannot sit here and judge this woman. And I've told her a number of times, you are a better woman than me, because I can't wrap my head around it. And I can't imagine, I can't sit here and toy with it. Oh, I would do this. And I don't know what I would do. I don't know what I do. Anger would completely take over. Normally you would have an outer body experience. That's not something that is to be taken lightly. So for anyone that does have some type of opinion about it, you always have to place yourself in someone else's shoes. And you got to keep in mind that she does have a son. So,
and I would say, if I was to continue with the relationship, like his other wife is not a horrible person. Like as far as I can tell, I only met, I was only around her for a short period of time. We did, after we had our conversation, we did also do a spa day together so we can try to get to know each other a little bit more. And I could tell she was super, like, y'all, she was in the room when I got my hoo-ha waxed. Okay. So that's how it was. We were doing things together. Like, I feel like I would want to know her more, like whether or not we stay together or not, I can still see us being in a good, healthy, like co-parenting, what do you call it? Mixed family, not mixed, but what's it called? Kind of like Will and Jada with their kids, what they call them? It's not
You mean like a blended family?
like, we could be a really good blended family. Like that's how I feel like, because there's no, like, she's mature, I'm mature, we can handle things together. We were actually planning to get the kids together before we left, but we ran out of time. We didn't have time to do that. I think she kind of was a little bit nervous too, because it would have been like him, both of us, and the kids together out as a real family. I think he was nervous about that. So he made up some excuse and we didn't go. So
But you were definitely down with it.
yeah, and she really wanted to go, and she was mad. She was mad that she didn't get a chance to go because I think he wanted to take Prince somewhere. His friend suggested this place. She has always been wanting to go to this place, so I think there's a little jealousy in there. So he was like, "Well, she wants to come too." I said, "Oh my God, that'd be a great idea. We could all come together. We could have a little picnic." Like I was really, ready for it. And he was just like, he got real quiet. And it never happened. So I don't know if she was the cause of it never happened because she didn't want to do it and she was jealous that he was trying to plan this for us and not her son. I think that there's a lot of things that to consider in that, but I'm ready. Like I don't think it's a bad thing because at the end of the day, when the kids see the parents getting along well, it's going to be healthy for everybody. And that's my main focus.
It is definitely different. And I knew that when we got to this part of tonight's segment that it was going to be mixed emotions and mixed reviews. However, I just want to remind everybody that after tonight's live stream, I am going to tomorrow go over to my community tab and put like a poll up there if you guys enjoyed tonight's live stream. If you would like to see us come back with a part 2 for this topic. And the way we're going to do that is you guys are going to come up with the questions. All the questions that have been asked in here tonight are presented by myself. Judith and Lacey had some input, and then we went over everything with Kimberly right before we aired tonight. However, we will give you guys the opportunity to ask any questions. If you have any questions, comments, or concerns that was not addressed in here tonight, I will place something on my community tab where you can put some questions up there and we will do a part 2 for you. We are going to have to wrap it up because we're almost at the 2-hour mark. I do have one more question that I would like to ask the ladies. Do you view African or Nigerian men as being aggressive and overzealous when in a relationship with them? And we can start with Judith.
So yes, they are. They definitely are. They're and arrogant and just yes, they are. And even guy number 3, like he's not. So he's at a place like is like somebody else catching your attention. They talk a little different. So because I'm like I said, turtle walking him. So his thing is I gotta be dealing with somebody else, but that's not me. I'm dealing with him, and that's it. He doesn't understand that, like probably because of how I'm moving. So, and I keep telling him, you don't have to understand, and you're more than welcome to go for a different relationship if that's what you want to do. He has the option. It may sound rude, but that's my truth.
Yeah, it is what it is. Kimberly?
I would say my husband is a very low-tempered guy. He doesn't really get upset. He's not super aggressive. He almost looks like a pushover if you don't know him that well. But in the back of his head, he's always got something going on. I didn't see aggression from him until I came back from Africa and I had slept with some other guy and I told him about it. Then I saw some aggression. But outside of that, when we're having arguments, like, and I hang up on him and stuff, he'll call back a million times to get me to talk to him. Like, he will not quit. And he does not like for me to be upset. He's like, if you're upset, I can't be okay. So in that realm, yes, because African American men, it's like, man, F her, and then they'll go and do whatever they got to do with their homeboys or whatever. But he will call me back to back to back to back to back. So, but he's not an angry person. He's very mild mannered. He doesn't get loud or angry at people. He doesn't treat people badly. Like, sometimes I don't really think he's all that African. I mean, he is, but like the way that a lot of people describe Africans, he kind of have like the opposite type of personality sometimes. So,
my husband is the same. He is very laid back, mild mannered. As long as Wanda's happy, Tony's happy. He don't care what's going on. He don't even give me too much input on the menus. Whatever me and the kids want, that's what he say. Whatever you and the kids want, as long as you guys eat it, he care less. He's so mild mannered. I've only seen Tony get upset twice. Once recently with immigrations, and of course, if you've never dealt with them, there's not a soul alive that went through the immigrations process that can tell you that they walked out of there feeling okay. Even if they got what they wanted, they put you through some things mentally. So you're never going to walk out there feeling great. And one other time, there was a man, when he first got here, and you know when you first get together with your significant other, you want to spend all your time with him, honey. This guy was trying to get Tony to go out, and Tony was telling him, no, I'm with my wife. We weren't even married yet, but you know, that's what they are. Mentally, they're there already. I'm with my wife, I'm with my family, this and that. And the guy kept trying to get aboard. The man messed around and called Tony a bastard. And that's not what we use. It was like a coward is what he meant. But he used the word bastard because, you know, they use things differently. Oh my God, that set Tony into orbit. That was my first time seeing him and I was like, oh, I did not like the person you became. And I think I was telling you guys a story where he said he was going to flock the guy if the guy came to the house. And I was like, you ain't going to flock him. You're going to F his ass up because we need to know he's taking care of. Flocking him, I don't know what the hell that is. I want to make sure if you do it right. So this is the situation of the Flockham, guys. This is the Flockham story that I told y'all some months ago in a live stream. And I called my sister, like, Tony over here talking about he gonna flock this guy. She was like, well, girl, you should have let him. We need to know what flocking is. I said, but what if flocking ain't good enough? I can't risk him flocking him when we could have been right here, you know what I mean, handling that. So, yeah, that was funny. But that is the only 2 times that I saw my husband upset and just go, like, out in orbit. All the stuff that I think I did that should have irritated him, he's so nonchalant. It doesn't even matter. Tony parties a lot. Judith and Lacey can tell you. He's at a party, I'm telling y'all, 3-4 times a week. Because that's what the Nigerians do. If you know them apart from any other African tribe or country, they're known to party. Tony's out all the time. He go to work, do everything I need him to do around the house. Oh, but he gonna jump clean and put some names on by a certain time. And I just be like, where the gathering at tonight? And I'm always invited. I always give excuses like, oh, go tell them I had to deal with the kids. I couldn't come. Girl, you know he don't really want to be there when he's somewhere FaceTiming me from a party. I'm like, ain't you supposed to be having fun? You over here chit-chatting with me, talk about don't have nothing on when I come home tonight and all that crazy stuff. You know, he around here setting up the after party. I like, boy, will you go have fun? But that's what they do. A lot of the women, when I do show up periodically, be like, you got a good husband. Oh my God, you see what your husband doing? That's what he do when you're not here. I say, you ain't got to tell me nothing about my husband. One thing you don't have to do is tell me anything about my husband, because I already know. When he hear what you thoughts, who's all up with all his friends and stuff, he ain't interested. He on the phone with me. That's me on the phone. Just in case y'all don't know, that's me on the phone. Because you have to let them know, because when they see a man that they think is nice looking and dressed nice and just never there with his wife, somebody going to try it, So I have to let them know, like, no, I don't come around because I'm not intimidated by you hoes. So it is what it is. He's mine. He ain't going nowhere. Who do we have left? Was it Lacey? Come on, Lacey.
So my fiance is honestly like how Tony is. He is non-confrontational. He is very calm and cool. And if anything happened, let's talk about it first. Yeah, it's me. I'm the problem with that. However, he's very calm. He's good. He is the opposite of me. Now, the first African man that I talked to was very much jealous and controlling, and he was everything. But my fiance is the opposite. He's very cool and calm.
Okay, yeah, guys, we are really at the 2-hour mark now, minus 4 minutes. So I just want to say again, there will be a poll up on my community tab, as well as I'm going to post something second on the community tab, so that you guys can put up any questions that we did not cover tonight, anything that you think of later or anything that comes to mind. Just put it on that post so that we can come back with a part 2 for tonight's segment. I knew it would be too juicy to keep at 1 hour, and here we are at 2, and we can still go on. However, we do have lives and we have children, and my hubby just came home, and y'all know when love calls, you better answer, right? So gotta get ready to go. But I do want to say, anybody that's in here that's dealing with a blended family situation, I do have an upcoming live stream that I'm planning. I do have 2 guests already, but if anyone else is interested in coming up to talk about the dynamics of a blended family, you're more than welcome. You can DM me over on Instagram at PrettyBrownEyes2. My handle is always in all the description box of all my uploads. Please go check out Building Ace Legacy and Judith. They are over on Lacey's channel, Building Ace Legacy, as well as Kimberly Arlinda. I'm telling you guys, you got to get in tune with these channels. We have a lot to bring to you. Unfortunately, I may have to start a 3rd channel for me to get into all this juicy stuff, or I'm only going to be able to bring you this type of content by way of my live streams. I enjoy having you here. Again, it's very therapeutic for me, and I'm sure my guests enjoyed you all as well. I want to thank you guys, before we go, for keeping it so classy and being respectful of our situations, because like someone said in the chat, and I believe it was Sierra, it's not easy to sit up here and tell your story. However, you guys made it feel great. You guys were very respectful, and I thank you for that. So go share this out with your family and your friends and your other social media platform. We need exposure. We will be back with a part 2. Thank you, ladies. You are as important to us as we are to you. Thank you so much. Love and respect, everybody. Good night.